This is the island. And this is another 1 versus 1 between AdmiralGeneral and Nick. AdmiralGeneral playing as Fasci Robots. Nick playing as Ladder Reset Delay. Because of course. Where are the spawns? I reckon the spawns are going to be on the platforms. Because why wouldn't they be? They'll either be on the platforms or off to the sides here. So much easier to make spawns on the platforms. So I'll just assume that they're on the platforms. Ta-da! There we go. And now we wait. Because these two are a bit slow. But yeah, this is the island. High quantity of mechs in between the bases. And very high density on the titular island. And here we go. On the North spawn, AdmiralGeneral in white. Bots first, probably into air second. Ooh, mixing up his builds. One, and again. Ooh, going straight into air. There we go. Interesting, interesting. Don't want to make too many mistakes like that, Admiral. I might have given Nick just a little bit of an advantage going into air second, bots third, rather than double air. On the south spawn, though, we've got Nick going double air, second and third. Possibly going to use that to play for the island a bit more. Will Admiral decide to trudge his commander into the water for the naval factory in this rematch? We'll have to find out. As I was saying, there's lots of mechs in between the bases, of course. Lots of narrow passes and choke points here, all to play for. Some which is only accessible by airdrops. And when we're going to see our first Pelican from Nick, if we haven't already. In comes a Firefly from Admiral. He's going to see that first air factory. He's not going to see the second one. That's a bit of an important lack of intel there. Certainly considering they're going to have different builds going forward. There you go. There's Nick with the drop. I must have missed it. I love not being able to sit close to my screen with this microphone. I need a new stand. But either way, in there with the bot. 2 fabs. Gonna get it up speedily. And then pick him up and get him out as soon as possible. Going for the Galata first is always a strong move, especially considering that place is pretty much bomber zone. Although you can kill it with, you can shoot at this stuff with ants, I'm sure. Good old T1 tanks never did anyone a disservice. Except when they were renamed to ludicrous things. We don't speak of that time. There we go, Nick going for a third air factory. As Admiral learned his lesson, he's going for his second and his third thereafter. Got some drops running around. What did we save there? Did we save a Faber or did we just drop a spark and then running it away? It does not get away. Admiral is not happy about that, having lost a Faber in the process. And a mech's expansion. But now Nick laying on the pressure again. Docks moving through the water. Sit there, sentry on the island. They don't need to go any further, just stop Admiral from getting it. What damage can 2 docks really do against a home turf base? Not a lot. So there's no point in using them there. They also have quite good vision range to docks, so they're nice, essentially scouts there. Can Admiral bring in the air to save his Fabbers? Yes, he can. Even though they fled, they will return to put up that mechs. Let's have a quick gander at the asteroids. We do have metal spots on the asteroids, so you can play for those if you want. In 1v1s you don't tend to see orbital, simply because it's just a little bit too much of an investment and too much of an attention sink. Although, of course, if you are decent with orbital, then you know what you're doing. Unfortunately, we're talking about 2 high-level skilled players here, which means they do not know what they're doing when it comes to orbital. Which is a bit of an oxymoronic statement, but there you go. Pros not knowing what they're doing. Well, that's a contradiction in terms, right? Depends what they're pro at. Pro at traditional RTSs? Sure. Pro at orbital? No. Go back to Kerbal Space Program with your orbital, they say. I'm a good old tanks and bots guy. Nick, though, getting back into the air game, winning there. Going up with his 4th air factory. How are we looking for Admiral? Going up with his 3rd, and a T2 bots now too. Nick just about getting onto the island there. Oh, I wondered if we would see this. A lob in the low ground. Gonna fire up onto the ledges. Onto the cliffs there. It's gonna be a bit of a harassment for Admiral. Nick coming in with the cunning strategies here. Don't let that fire into the... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say it looked for a moment like it was going to fire down here, but... They've got a much larger range than you would expect. Ooh! Much larger range than you would expect. This map must be tiddly. And it is. Has their range been buffed? I swear it did not used to be that big. Either which way, AdmiralGeneral all of a sudden has a Dox Horde at his disposal, trying to avoid getting bombed, but starting a forest fire in the process. Denying Nick his late game Trico if it even comes to that, which I doubt. Ooh, look at that. You want to start a fire? Here's a fire starter. T2 air from Nick, though. That's again a disparity between these 2 players. Nick going heavy in the air. Admiral insisting that bots are the way forward. It didn't turn out for him too well in the last game. How will it do this time round? Well, there's not too much space between the bases, so it might just turn out to be fantastic for him. If he can get some locusts in. But Nick now moving into the water. That's a bit of a power play there. Ooh. Ooh, the commander's not in the base. The commander's not in the base, and there's a few fabbers here getting this T2 air factory. Admiral, move in. Take your opportunity. There's some fabbers for killing. Get in there, mate. Get in there. Go do it. Stop that T2 factory, mate. All the way from down under. That was not a good accent for some reason. There we go, that's better. That's better. Don't know what it turned into there for a moment. Surprised Admiral has the internet. Hey, thank you for the follow. Bill Boyne, is that? Can't quite read it from this distance, I'm afraid. There we go. We got rid of the fabbers. We've certainly delayed it. There we go, resuming work on that factory there as the bombers come in. The air comes in from Nick, though. The platform is so high that the air does not like having movement orders being placed on it. And they kind of stutter and stoop around, tripping up over the fact that, well, there's something in the way. And there we go, there's the locusts. Ready from Admiral, but Nick doing a bit more harassment now with that lob. Of course, they've got to go the long way around in order to do some raiding, but with the T2 naval factory coming up from Nick now as well. 2 T2 on the go. Admiral, come on, let's get some air. Ooh, here come the locusts. Ooh, they're all split up. Hello. That's right, nom nom nom. Get rid of that island. Our island nation. Admiral is taking no prisoners. Don't go too close to the commander, though. Just want to go straight into the base. The only problem there is, well, mines and sparks. You've got to watch out for them. Those locusts are pretty much paid for themselves off the bat already. Admiral now moving into the water. We're going to contest into the naval game now too. What I'm going to do, rather than have these focused on the bases now, the pictures in pictures, I'm going to have them focused on the main areas of battle. There we go. So that we can see exactly what's going on the other side of the planet as I'm moving around. In come those locusts. Are they going to go into the base? Are they going to eat this thing to the ground? They might well do. In comes a Firefly. Sees a relatively clear pass. He doesn't see the mines. Will the docks go in and take them out in the first instance, or will they not? I missed the mines anyway, but they're in. And that's all that matters. There's the base. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Go nom 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 nom. Go go gadget. Locust run. Woohoo! A couple of factories almost taken down. One, however, is lost. Mr. Marshall, would it be possible to increase the glorious music a teensy bit? There we go. Is that any better? Well, the music's kind of gone into a lull anyway, but there we go. See how that works when the track then decides to come back up. Hope that's better for you, Jack the Spooky. More locusts coming out from Admiral, though. Both out of the base and in Nick's base. How much damage is it going to do? We've got the Leviathans coming out and the Kaijus too. They're not doing too much damage. Admiral needs to get into the T2 Naval. Other than get his commander over there, that's the bad place to go when there's T2 Naval out and about. Why have you got your commander wandering around on his own when there's T2 Naval? Don't do that. That's a fool's errand. What are you doing? I don't understand. Is anyone else? Admiral seems to be holding up well against the docks from the lob, though. Nick, meanwhile, has yet another locust run to contend with. Where's Nick getting all his eco from? It's still this middle bit here that's keeping him up in this game. Although the last time Admiral did a run, he didn't quite manage to take out the eco powerhouse. And it is all that bit in the middle. It's making up for it. In comes the air. You can see exactly what's going on. There's a few docks there. Admiral's going to bypass them. He's going to wander away, but now we have the Kaijus and the Leviathan. Will this turn around the game for Nick, who seems to have been on the back foot a little bit, as these locusts have been doing their dirty work? Look at this. We're going to lose a few to mines, or not. Oh, lost a great old bunch. Get rid of that T2 air factory. Nom 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 nom. Choo 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 choo. Nom 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 nom. Lovely stuff. Great run there from Admiral, and more factories going down too. One locust to rule them all. And more coming in from the other side. This is unrelenting nomage. Wait, never mind. There we go, the odd mine. Taking them out. So now all Nick's stuff rides on this T2 Naval. Admiral does not want to engage in this comm box as he's the commander there. Admiral, do not engage. Do not engage. There's a Leviathan here and Nick is doing everything he can now to focus down this commander. Is Admiral out of place here? Whee! Look at these. The Piranha Horde trying its best. Focusing down the commander. Don't go into it, Admiral! What are you doing? Admiral, what are you doing? There's a Leviathan sat right there! Don't do it, you Nelly! Oh my god! I guess he might... What are you doing? There's some walls in the way now too, and some subs, not subs, torpedoes. Admiral, have you just blown it? Have you just blown it? I think he has, certainly in this engagement. Back off, good sir. The Leviathan can't shoot you if you're underwater. It's not shooting him anyway, it's aiming for the base, but here we go. What have we got here? Looks like we got some slammers, is it? Oh, can't drop them in the water, can't drop them in the water. Losing them, losing... Oh, you can drop them in the water, okay. Either which way, though, the slammer's there, trying to get at Nick, but dropping them in the water shows that they cannot shoot out of it with torpedoes. You You cannot deny physics in this game. Oh dear, Admiral. Admiral! Admiral, pay attention, Admiral! What are you doing, you utter Nelly? You had that in the bag! Oh, what a shame. If only he wasn't so brazen with his commander, he might well have had that. There was no reason to have the commander out there, none whatsoever. Good game, though. Look at Nick's base in ruins, saved by the Navy and the combox. I don't even.